I, 34F, lost my husband Anthony, 36M, in a car accident 3 years ago. We have a daughter Emily, 8F, together. Anthony came from a wealthy family and inherited a significant amount when his parents passed away in 2019. He was always careful with money and wanted to ensure Emily would have a secure future, especially for her education. Before his death, he set up a trust fund for Emily with most of his inheritance money to be given to her when she turns 18. He made me the trustee since I was good with finances and had worked in banking for 10 years. My sister Tamara, 32F, and I grew up very close despite our different personalities. I was always the responsible one while she was more free-spirited. Our parents constantly compared us, which strained our relationship during our teens, but we worked through it in our 20s. Tamara never held a steady job, jumping between careers, but she was wonderful with Emily. When Anthony died, she immediately moved in with us to help me cope with the loss and take care of Emily. She reduced her work hours to part-time so she could be there for us. For almost 3 years, we functioned like a small family unit. Since I handled all the finances, I often asked Tamara to help me with banking work when I was busy with Emily or overwhelmed with single parenting. She knew my passwords and account details because I trusted her completely. She even helped me track Emily's trust fund investments and suggested good opportunities sometimes. About 6 months ago, Tamara met Justin, 35M, at her yoga class. He seemed charming and successful at first. He talked about his real estate business and showed photos of his properties. But something about him felt off to me. He was too smooth, too perfect. Tamara fell hard for him though. Within weeks, she was spending all her time with him. She quit her part-time job because Justin said he could help her start her own business. She stopped helping with Emily, missed Emily's school events, and was barely home. I didn't mind much initially since Emily was in school most of the day and I had adjusted to being a single mom. Tamara seemed happy for the first time since Anthony's death, so I supported her relationship despite my reservations. Justin started coming over for dinner regularly and even bought expensive gifts for Emily, which made me uncomfortable. I expressed my concerns to Tamara once about how quickly things were moving, but she got defensive and accused me of being jealous of her happiness. Last month, while reviewing Emily's trust fund quarterly statement, I noticed some discrepancies. Small withdrawals between $2,000 to $5,000 had been made regularly over 3 months, totaling around $50,000. I was shocked because I hadn't made any withdrawals. The money was strictly for Emily's future. My heart sank as I realized Tamara was the only other person who had access to the accounts. When I confronted her, Tamara broke down completely. Through tears, she admitted she had been taking money to help Justin pay off gambling debts. She claimed he was being threatened by loan sharks and she was scared for his safety. She begged me not to go to the police, promising she would pay back every cent. She said Justin didn't know the money came from Emily's fund, she had told him it was her savings. I was beyond devastated. This wasn't just any money, it was meant for Emily's future, left by her father who died trying to secure that future. I felt sick thinking about how Tamara had systematically stolen from her own niece over months. I kicked her out immediately, changed all passwords, and froze the accounts. When I told our parents, they were initially horrified but quickly shifted to damage control mode. Mom especially kept insisting that Tamara must have been manipulated by Justin, that she wasn't thinking straight, that she deserved another chance since she was family. Dad was more understanding of my position but still suggested we try to handle this privately without involving authorities. Tamara has been bombing my phone with lengthy messages, swearing she's broken up with Justin, taken 2 jobs, and will repay everything. She keeps bringing up our childhood, our bond as sisters, how much she loves Emily. Our parents think I'm being too harsh and should at least hear her out. But I've blocked her everywhere and told them I want nothing to do with her anymore. They say I'm breaking up the family, that Emily needs her aunt, that people make mistakes. But I think stealing $50,000 from your dead brother-in-law's child goes beyond a simple mistake. Ida for refusing to accept her apology? Update 1, it's been 2 weeks since my last post. After reading all the supportive comments and discussing with my closest friends, I decided to file a police report against Tamara, despite my parents' desperate attempts to stop me. They even showed up at my house at 6 a.m. the day I planned to go to the police station, begging me to reconsider. Mom was crying, saying I would destroy Tamara's future. But I couldn't let this go. It wasn't just about the money anymore, but about the deliberate betrayal of trust. The police investigation revealed something far worse than I imagined. There were no gambling debts. Justin wasn't being threatened by loan sharks. Tamara had been lying about everything. The truth came out when the police obtained their text messages and emails through a warrant. Tamara and Justin had been planning to open a luxury wellness retreat together. They needed startup capital, but no bank would give them a loan due to Justin's poor credit history. That's when they hatched the plan to quietly borrow from Emily's trust fund. The messages showed how calculated it all was. They discussed taking small amounts over time to avoid detection, planning to replace it once their business started making money. Tamara even joked in one message about how Emily was too young to need all that money anyway. There were detailed spreadsheets showing their withdrawal schedule and business projections. This wasn't a desperate act to save Justin from danger, it was a cold, premeditated scheme. What hurt even more was discovering that Tamara hadn't broken up with Justin at all. Not only were they still together, but they were planning a destination wedding in Bali. They had already put deposits down on a venue using some of Emily's money. When the police confronted Tamara with all this evidence, she finally cracked and admitted everything. Her confession made me sick to my stomach. She said she was tired of being the responsible aunt, tired of living in my shadow, tired of helping raise someone else's kid while her own life was on hold. She actually said she thought Emily had too much money anyway since she was just a kid, and that Anthony would have wanted his money to help family. She tried to justify it by saying they would have paid it all back with interest once their wellness retreat became successful. The level of entitlement in her reasoning was staggering. The fallout in our family has been massive. Our parents are now divided for the first time in their 40-year marriage. Mom still insists Tamara deserves forgiveness since she's family. She keeps saying Tamara made a mistake, but her intentions weren't evil, she was just trying to build a future with someone she loved. But Dad finally sees how calculated this betrayal was. He was shocked by the premeditation revealed in those messages. They're fighting constantly about this, barely speaking to each other. The extended family has split into camps. My aunts think I'm being cruel for involving the police, saying we should have found a way to handle this privately. They keep bringing up how Tamara helped me after Anthony died, as if that gives her the right to steal from his daughter. But my cousins support my decision, especially after seeing the evidence of how planned this was. Some have even cut contact with Tamara themselves. Tamara's life is falling apart, but it's all consequences of her own actions. Her employer found out about the theft investigation and fired her immediately. She was working as an administrative assistant at a financial firm, so they couldn't keep someone being investigated for financial fraud. Now she's blaming me for ruining her life, saying I could have handled this privately but chose to destroy her instead. She's been posting cryptic messages on social media about how families should stand by each other no matter what, and how some people never get over their grief and end up pushing everyone away. Several relatives have commented supporting her, saying I'm being vindictive and using the police to get revenge because I'm jealous of her relationship with Justin. It's infuriating how they're trying to spin this. The detective handling the case said Tamara will likely face criminal charges. They're still investigating Justin's involvement and background. I've hired a lawyer to ensure Emily's interests are protected through all this. Tamara's been trying to reach me through different numbers and mutual friends, saying she'll accept whatever punishment but begs me not to cut her out of Emily's life forever. But how can I ever trust her around my daughter again? Update 2. 3 months have passed since my last update. Tamara appeared in court last week and pleaded guilty to grand theft to get a lighter sentence. Her lawyer negotiated a deal, 18 months probation and mandatory full restitution of the stolen money. She has to pay back every cent with interest. I thought this would be the end of it, but life had other plans. 2 days after Tamara's sentencing, I received a Facebook message from a woman named Rachel. She introduced herself as Justin's wife. Yes, wife. Apparently, Justin has been married for 8 years and has 2 kids. Rachel saw Tamara's case mentioned in the local news and recognized Justin immediately. She reached out because this wasn't the first time Justin had done something like this. Rachel revealed that Justin has a pattern of targeting vulnerable women, especially those with access to money. 3 years ago, he convinced his cousin's wife to empty their joint savings account for a fake investment opportunity. Last year, he manipulated an elderly neighbor into refinancing her house for a business venture that never existed. Rachel has stayed with him because he threatens to take their kids away if she leaves, but she's been documenting his scams. I met Rachel for coffee and she showed me everything: photos, messages, bank statements proving Justin's cons. She also showed me recent messages between her and Justin where he explicitly states he has no intention of leaving her for Tamara. He referred to Tamara as just another easy Anthony who fell for his act. The wellness retreat was never going to happen, it was just a story to get Tamara to hand over money. When I tried to tell Tamara about this, she refused to believe any of it. She claims Rachel is lying, that Justin told her all about his unhappy marriage and their impending divorce. She insists Justin loves her and they're still planning their future together. She's so deep in denial it's almost scary. Even when I showed her the proof Rachel provided, she said the messages must be fake. The most frustrating part is that Tamara emptied her entire savings account and maxed out 3 credit cards giving money to Justin, on top of what she stole from Emily. She keeps saying it will all be worth it once their wellness retreat opens and they get married. Mom finally realizes how naive Tamara was and has stopped defending her actions. But now she's switched to guilt-tripping me, saying Tamara needs family support more than ever because she's clearly being conned by a professional manipulator. The court ordered Tamara to repay $1,000 monthly to Emily's trust fund. She immediately filed a petition claiming financial hardship, saying she can't afford the payments since she lost her job. Her lawyer asked if I would agree to a lower payment plan of $250 monthly. I refused. She made calculated choices over 3 months to steal that money. The fact that she got conned by Justin doesn't change what she did to Emily. Our extended family is having their annual reunion next month at our uncle's lake house. Drama erupted in the family group chat when Mom suggested inviting Tamara because she needs support right now. Several cousins immediately objected, saying they don't want their kids around someone who stole from a child. Others argued that families should stick together in hard times. I made it clear that if Tamara attends, Emily and I won't be there. Mom broke down crying on the phone yesterday, saying the family is being torn apart. She's probably right, but I didn't cause this, Tamara did. Her choices have consequences. Even my dad, who initially encouraged me to show mercy after Tamara's sentencing, changed his mind after meeting Rachel and seeing the evidence of Justin's other scams. He said Tamara had multiple chances to come clean but chose to keep lying until the evidence forced her to confess. I've discovered that Tamara has been telling people that I'm using Emily's trust fund theft as an excuse to punish her for moving on after Anthony's death when I couldn't. She's playing victim, claiming I'm jealous because she found love again while I'm stuck in my grief. It's insane how she's twisting everything. A few relatives actually believe her version and have been making snide comments about me being bitter and vindictive. Through all this, I'm trying to protect Emily from the drama. She asks about her aunt sometimes, and it breaks my heart. But I can't let Tamara back into our lives. She didn't just steal money, she betrayed our trust in the worst way possible. The fact that she still refuses to fully acknowledge what she did, choosing instead to believe Justin's lies and blame everyone else, shows me she hasn't changed at all. Update 3. It's been 8 months since my original post. Life has a way of bringing people back to reality, and Tamara finally hit rock bottom. Justin ghosted her completely after she couldn't give him any more money. He changed his number, deleted his social media, and vanished. Rachel, his wife, told me he's done this before, disappearing for months when he squeezed everything he can from Anthony, then resurfacing somewhere new with a different story. Tamara is now living in a tiny studio apartment, working 2 minimum wage jobs to make the court-ordered payments. She sent me a tear-filled voice message last week, saying she finally sees how stupid and selfish she was. She admitted that deep down, she probably knew Justin was lying all along but wanted so desperately to believe in their future together that she ignored all the red flags. She said she realizes now how deeply she betrayed Emily and me, and how she threw away our family bond for a con man who never cared about her. She asked if she could meet Emily just once to apologize. She talked about how much she misses her, how she thinks about her every day, how the guilt is eating her alive. But I said no. Emily is thriving in school, making new friends, and doesn't need to be dragged into adult drama. When she asks about her Aunt Tamara now, she just remembers the good times before everything fell apart. I want to keep it that way. The family reunion happened last month. Tamara didn't attend, but she was the main topic of conversation anyway. Most relatives now understand my position, especially after Justin's true identity came to light. Even my mom has stopped pressuring me to reconcile. She still meets Tamara secretly for coffee sometimes, which I'm fine with. Tamara is still her daughter, and I understand that bond. But Mom respects my decision to keep Tamara out of our lives and no longer tries to make me feel guilty about it. Dad told me that Tamara attempted to sign up for a personal loan to pay back Emily's money faster, but was denied due to her poor credit score. He seemed to think this proved she was genuinely sorry and trying to make amends. But being sorry doesn't erase what happened. She didn't steal from Justin, she stole from her 8-year-old niece. She had weeks to come clean but kept lying until evidence forced her to confess. That kind of calculated betrayal can't be fixed with an apology. Some people might think I'm being too harsh, that families should forgive each other. But some actions have permanent consequences. Tamara made a series of deliberate choices, to steal the money, to lie about it, to believe Justin over her own family. Those choices destroyed our relationship. The family has finally accepted that some bonds, once broken, can't be repaired. I've made peace with losing my sister. Emily's well-being has to come first. Maybe years down the line, When Emily is older and can make her own decisions about having a relationship with her aunt, things might change. But for now, this is how it has to be. The trust fund has been secured with better protections, and I've learned a hard lesson about keeping financial information private, even from family. Life moves on. Emily and Ed are doing well. We've developed new traditions, just the two of us. Sometimes I catch myself missing the sister I used to have, but then I remember that person is gone. She died the day she decided my daughter's future was less important than her dreams of running away with a con man.